Do you know that belief in yourself is all that is required to manifest your desires? I was sitting here thinking, like, what did I do, like, specifically to get the life I am currently experiencing? Let me tell you, in the beginning, in my, before maybe my early 40s, I wasn't good at like choosing men that I wanted to have an intimate relationship with. The men that fathered my children, there were two. I had a daughter who was 20, who's 20. I had a daughter when I was 20. And then I got married the age of 29 and had two more children. And neither one of them really wanted to be a part of their children's lives. And I had to really do an assessment. And at this time, I didn't have the terminology that I do today as to how I transformed my thinking. But I did realize I did have to transform my thinking. I had to come to a realization that I kept choosing the same type of men, and like, why did I keep choosing the same type of men? And I discovered that there was an insecurity there. There wasn't the belief that, I could attract someone that was nice and kind and wanted a family and wanted, to, just be committed and wanted that family unit, that respect, that loyalty, all of those good things. And when I look back on it now, I realized, so there were two books that I read. One was by Patty Stanger. She used to have these reality TV show where she matched wealthy clients with other clients. It was called Millionaire Matchmaker, and I think she ended up having, she moved to a different network and it became $1 Million Matchmaker. But I read her first book, and then I read Steve Harvey's book, Act Like a Woman, Think Like a Man, Act Like a Woman, whatever the title is. And it's not even that I necessarily even remember all their points that they made. What I did realize about Steve Harvey's book, what stood out, is that he did have like his 5 non-negotiables. And I know I came up with 5, but the only one that really sticks out is the one about I didn't want a smoker for whatever reason. But yeah, it helped me narrow down what I did and didn't want in a relationship. And I come to realize that his book helped me realize I didn't want to be playing games. A lot of his techniques, a lot of his book was based on like not being honest, this mental manipulation, and that's not something I wanted. So his book did give me clarity about the path I did not want to take. And it also helped me narrow down the type of relationship I did want to have. Now, I understand that this intelligence that created all things, that brought this universe into fruition, this physical experience that we're having, it is intelligent. So I didn't have to like write down every attribute I wanted in a mate. I just said, I deserve a good man because I'm a good woman. Now, I met my husband online through this online subscription called Black People Meet. And before I met him, I had been interacting with a couple of other men, but they were kind of like the same type of guys that I was already kind of dating and attracting into my life, and they just weren't. I knew they just didn't fit that the person I really wanted to share a life with. And that's how I knew that there was something I had to change about myself and come to the realization about myself. Now I know it's called inner work. I didn't have that terminology back then because at that time I wasn't aware of the laws of the universe. I didn't know that this world was mental at the time. But now I can look back on it. Now I can say, I manifested manifested this reality by simply changing how I saw myself and what I believed that I could have. And once I made that shift in my reality, that's how I was able to attract someone that had the same values that I had. That, he was a divorcee, I was a divorcee. We both came with some baggage that we was able to work through. We both have started on this path together, our spiritual awakening, learning the laws of the universe, which there is really only one law of the universe, and that law is mental, and it says whatever you can believe, it should be done unto you as you believe. That has been the theme for the central figure in the Bible. Those who follow me know my platform, are familiar with my platform, know that I say that the Bible is mind science, it is psychological, it is the blueprint to show us how to think so we can have the reality that we want to experience. And I was thinking I didn't do anything special. I didn't pay anyone. I didn't go to therapy. Not saying that anything is wrong with that. Everybody has their own path. But what I am saying is that you can have the life you want if you're willing to just change the way you think about your life. That's really all it takes, is for you to change the way you think about life. I didn't have to tithe any money to a church. I didn't have to give any money to a coach. I didn't have to have therapy sessions. I just had to come to the realization that who was the common denominator in all these relationships these failed relationships that I was having? I was the common denominator. And I had to realize, not be cynical, not feel guilty or shame or blame about the previous relationships that I had. I had a different mindset when I went into the new relationship with my husband now, that I was going to change the way I thought, be more open, communicate more, be myself, somebody that was going to accept me for me because I had accepted me for me. I knew I was a loyal, faithful person. I knew that I had gained so much more awareness and knowledge of myself, and that I was going to, draw that type of person in. And that's exactly what I did. And I know it seems simple and I'm saying it like it's easy, but really it is once you make a decision. It's only difficult if you continue to straddle the fence and you don't take ownership, accountability, or responsibility for the choices that you have made in your life. And I'm not talking about the things that happened to you as a child, where you were under the care of whoever was responsible for you at that time. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you come to the age of reason, when you have started to realize that you're choosing certain things, and the reason why you're choosing certain things is based on how you feel and believe about yourself, and that's why you choose those things, right? I mean, all of us have a story. Everybody, most people, I'm not gonna say all people, because clearly that's not true, and I don't know all people, but there is a great number of people that have had very traumatic experiences, and it hinders them from living the life they desire to live because they're stuck in that childhood state. They're stuck in that. Those experiences have a hold on them mentally. But if you can, whatever you need to do, if you need to go to therapy, if you need to have a coach, if going to a church, or if that is something that frees you mentally and doesn't keep you bound and liberates you mentally, do what you need to do to get that freedom. But what I'm telling you, and what I know for certain, that you don't need anything outside of you. I didn't need anything outside of me. I was in church. My first marriage I was married to a preacher. So I know that wasn't the answer. The church telling me that the seed I am to sow is money, and that's how I will be blessed. I know that that's not necessary. But everything happens according to your belief. So if you believe you must give money in order to be blessed, that's the law that you're creating for yourself, and that's the law you will live by, because that is what the Christ said in the Gospels. It is done unto you as you believe. All I know, what I know for certain, and two things I know for sure: money is not required to get a change of mind. It's not required. Jesus, before he performed any miracles, that's what we call it in the Bible, anything that people asked for and they received from him, what did he say? He always said it was what? Your faith has made you whole. It is according to your belief. Be not afraid, only believe. Go in peace. Right? That was the theme throughout his ministry. That if you can believe, all things are possible to them that believe. It takes belief. And belief is not wishful thinking. Belief is not a crossing the fingers, a begging, a pleading, And we even use hope in its wrong terminology, because hope is an assurity, a certain expectation, it's going to happen. That's what belief is. You have to, it's the synonymous with faith. It's synonymous with trust. Faith in the dictionary says to accept, not faith. Believe in the dictionary says that you have to accept that a thing is true. You accept that something is real for you. And so if you can feel that a thing is real for you, then you can have whatsoever you desire. Ask, and it shall be given. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, and the door shall be open. And I know this to be true because I have a very comfortable way of life. I stopped working in 2017, took a couple of odd jobs since 2017 until now, thinking that I had to contribute in some form financially to the quote unquote, for the lack of a better word, operation of our family, of our home. Then I realized I do so much more for this home by not working outside the home than I could ever do by working. By not working, I can do, it's so much more that I give to how our family is run. I'm a great manager of money. I plan all our vacations. I'm here for my children when they, a lot of my children are older. I do have a bonus daughter through my husband. She's still in elementary school, but my children are all graduated high school. And so, yeah, and I look at my life, I'm like, I didn't finish college. I did go to nursing school, found out that really wasn't for me. That's not, my heart was not in that. And I realized that my place is in the home. Now I know that's not for everybody. And everybody has to find out what works for them and what their path in life will be and what brings them the most joy. And be happy with that. And find joy in whatever path you decide to take. Learn how to appreciate where you are. Be thankful. And you really have to work on transforming the mind, transforming your thinking. And me being at home allows me to help others who desire to transform their thinking. Right now, I'm working with a couple of people, and I don't even want to call them clients because I would never charge for this. I would never charge for this information. I give freely. I know if I give freely, I shall receive freely in return. And I just feel like people are hungering and thirst after righteousness. And the Bible said, and they shall be fed. He said, come eat and drink without price. So, it's just I do want to work with people that actually want to see a better way of living for themselves. And the people that I'm working with, they're already seeing a change in their life by changing the way they think. Some things are just happening instantly for them, and other things, it may, in its third dimension, take a time where there's a process that has to you have to experience, and that's okay. It's okay if you experience the process. We have committed to a 90-day, 12-week where I just check in and give them points to ponder every week. And we discuss how the mind really does create reality and how to build that self-confidence within ourselves. And when you see how easy it was to change your thoughts and see this happen in your life, and you're like, and we're just like, oh my goodness, like it really is this easy. And you want the whole world to know. You want the whole world to come to this realization, right? And eventually everyone will, but everyone in its own time, and everyone in its own way. And just learning how to take the judgment out of it and really focusing on how to forgive. So yes, I just want to share, this, my life with you all to, that, yeah, everybody has to find what it is that nourishes them, that gives them joy, that feeds their soul, and everyone is different. And you don't let these social media apps lead you down the wrong path and have you comparing your life to others and telling you it's all about the money. Yes, money is essential in our construct, right? In our everyday life, but it's not the main ingredient. The main ingredient is love. And once you truly learn to love yourself, everything else really does fall into place. You'll have all the money you need to do all the things you ever wanted to do. You'll be able to forgive more freely. You'll have more compassion. Your body will feel better. You'll look better. Everything will just feel better. Everything else will just be worth experiencing when you can come to and understand that love is the foundation for all things. And that if money is required for you to experience anything in life, it will show up. And if it's not required, the more. That's even better, right? That's even better if money doesn't even need to be a reason why you manifest. And it never is. It never is. I mean, I don't know those of you have ever read the success stories by Neville Goddard, Joseph Murphy, and how they tell of these people who had not a nickel or dime to their name, and how they were able to change their way of thinking, believe in themselves, and just see how things manifested in their reality. And they were able to transform their experience by transforming the way you think. The Bible says, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. You have to change the way you think if you want a different reality. And it really is true. There are innumerable things that we all can think of to say, I knew that would happen. Whether they be good, bad, or ugly, or indifferent. We all say we knew it would happen. Because you have a feeling about what's going to take place in your life. But what you want to start doing is having a feeling for the wanted things. You want to consciously create the life you want to experience. And it all comes from a changed mind. You must believe in yourself. But if believing in others is the stepping stool, it's the crutch that you need. If you need to believe in therapy, you need to believe in medicine. If you need to believe in your pastor at your church, if you need to believe in things outside of you, you will always be seeking outside of you, and you'll never get satisfaction, and you'll never realize the power that lies within you because you keep giving the power to something outside of you. And this whole platform is for you to recognize that you didn't need anybody outside of you. You didn't need anyone's help. That the answer is found within. You must be willing to go within. You must be willing to trust yourself. And so, with that being said, I bid you all a good day. I hope that you all just have a blessed day and truly choose you. Truly choose to think better of you, because guess what? That costs nothing. That's free. To think differently, it's free. That's the liberation. That's true liberation. Until next time, again, be blessed.